Lady yields back. Chair recognizes Mr. Subramanyam.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this bill has one provision I want to talk about for a second, which is, I think it's subsection E. It says to increase the speed and lower the cost of processing concealed carry license requests. This has been shown to actually increase gun violence, and especially if you don't include live fire training, that's a 32% increase in gun deaths. And I could go on with statistics about why this is a terrible idea. If you actually care about the safety of people in DC, you're going to end up with people doing more concealed carry, more people with guns, more gun deaths. And this is precisely the reason why folks oppose this bill and DC residents oppose this bill, is because they didn't sign up for this. So they don't want this, right? They don't want to be subjected to more gun violence than they already are right now. And so I think that this provision is something that if you put it on the ballot in DC, it'd be voted down very swiftly.
Will the gentleman yield?
On them. And so yes, I'll yield. Mm-hmm.
DC has some of the most complicated and strict gun laws in the country. Law-abiding residents who wish...
I'm not going to yield my time, though. Do you have a question?
Well, I was just going to say that you said that basically criminals don't care about the law. And we don't change any of the procedures to get a concealed weapons permit. We just speed it up. That's all we do. We don't change any procedures. We just speed it up. You make law-abiding citizens helpless victims.
So what
It's
I don't
a
understand
God-given right. The Second Amendment, you're talking about the...
I don't understand what the provision is trying to do then, with all due respect.
It's just speeding up the ability for you to get a concealed weapons permit.
Well,
if you want a concealed weapons permit in D.C., you've got to wait months just to get an appointment. Criminals just go get a gun. They don't care. And so that's why you see 12-year-olds with a gun doing carjackings. The only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. And it's our God-given right to protect ourselves and our family. And so it speeds up the process.
I thank you for your comments, because I think the people in D.C. don't agree with that. And I also think that the evidence doesn't agree with that either. We're not going to agree on that today. But I think the point I'm trying to make is that the people of D.C. don't want this and don't agree with you. And by making the concealed carry permitting process more lax, you're not going to solve any sort of gun violence in the city. In fact, you're going to make it worse. That's what the evidence shows. It's not like no state has ever done this before. 29 states have done it, right? But the evidence is pretty clear that gun violence has gone up in many of those states because of that law. And so that's why one of the reasons why I'm very much opposed to this bill is because of that specific provision. Because one, the people of DC don't want it. They don't think it works. It doesn't work. Two, it's been shown not to work either. And so if we're actually going to address gun violence, let's not make it worse. But that's what this bill does. I yield back.
Will the gentleman yield? Will the gentleman yield?
I'll yield back to the gentleman from Florida.
Thank you. No, I mean, it's just, it's good to hear from our Republican colleague here. He's concerned about the D.C. gun laws. He's concerned about gun violence in D.C. I'm not sure if the gentleman's aware that most guns used in crime in Washington, D.C. come from outside Washington, D.C., from states that don't have good gun laws. So my hope is, from hearing your concern today, maybe we can work together. Maybe we can pass universal background checks. Maybe we can pass federal legislation to make sure that every state plays by the same rules to make sure that we lower gun violence in this country and protect our people. I yield back.